Right folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me in the wild landscape of Scotland, and today we've come to check out a bit of World War Two history, because this is actually the old Stracathro training airfield from World War Two, Stracathro Aerodrome, and there is still some of the buildings. I was here it must be like a year ago or something now, and I documented the buildings. But one of the days I was driving past, it looked to me like some of these buildings have actually fallen over since I was here. So I thought it'd be cool, just for a short video, come and walk about and just see if anything's changed. Yeah, it's actually raining today folks, that's how I'm not out on anything total mad. All the grass is absolutely soaking. Most places where I explore, the grass is like waist height, so it's difficult to explore without getting drenched. But yeah, a place like this is interesting for a wee walk about. Explore some real World War Two history. And I can see this massive pile of stones and bits of cement here, and if we look closely, within this pile of rubble is actually some incredible World War Two history. Look at this folks, we can see one of the old urinals here, which must have been taken off site from one of the buildings, because I think this whole area here was used from 1943 until 1948, and they used it for like low level approach training. And there was something else, I think it was like they got a lot of side winds or something at this runway, and they used it for training for strong side winds. But there is actually a story of tragedy at this airfield, like a lot of World War Two airfields. Even being a training airfield, tragedy still struck, because one time a pilot was doing a training exercise and he actually crashed his Hurricane aircraft, it was back then. Must have been Hurricanes and Spitfires and stuff like that. They were training in here before they went to like the front line into Europe or wherever they went, or even maybe down south where it was like the heart of the Battle of Britain. But yeah, this whole area all the way to those trees in the distance there is actually the World War Two training airfield, and the old runway runs along in front of that big hangar like building right around, and it goes like a kind of an L shape. It's like a curved L shape. Wow, these buildings are definitely more destroyed. This is the thing with these videos, the years go on and places change, and it's cool to come back and see like what's left before it's gone forever folks. Wow, look at these buildings with the stone brick, the cement render. It's the red brick with the cement render, like we see at a lot of World War Two airfields, like even when we were up at Edzell and places like that, it's very similar. Furden airfield, similar construction. And also around the airfields you get this cement with a rebar through it all the way around where the main roads and tracks through the site would have been. Also the runway here is just massive cement runway like you see, but at one time the runway actually had like a tar coating on it, and I think that was to protect the plane wheels or something, because apparently if they were landing right on the concrete it could tear the wheels. So even though nowadays most of these World War Two airfields look like they're cement, it's because the thin layer of like asphalt has actually come off the top. Check it out folks, once again we're in the heart of World War Two history right here, and I'm going to clean the lens because the rain is just drizzling on it. Yes folks, I love seeing this, just imagining the history from the war, and maybe the soldiers that came in and out of these places, and wonder what they would have been doing, the things they would have been learning. It could have been crucial for their survival in war. Look at the little windows with the metal frames. I love the character of that. The character of these whole areas though, to imagine the history, and yeah, it's just incredible, and it's special to come and record it and document it. Sometimes even if you've been to a place before, you notice other details of history that you missed. And it's fine often in a place like this because I can get shelter from the odd roof here and there. Yeah, it would be cool to go and look. There's a cool pillbox at the far side next to the forest, and it's one of my favourite pillboxes that I've ever found. I think 'cause it's so far from where people can reach, it's hardly seen. And it's hardly like, obviously there's no vandalism and stuff away from the towns. Yeah, it's an interesting sight. I don't know how wet the grass will be though. If I try and head right down there it might be soaking, but I'm for the adventure, folks. We're out here, all conditions, making these videos. Look at this, folks. It's crazy to see these old buildings flattened by the weather. You can see the old electronics on the end of this one where it would have come in. It's a crazy big site, like. Some dog walkers over here. Shout out if you're watching this video. You can see the last remaining bit of this building. See, this is it true. Last time I came in here, this building was still standing for sure. It's crazy to see this, how it's changed. Wow. Yeah, I might put a link at the end of the video. At the end of this video, I'll put a link to the last time I explored this site, and you'll see the difference. It's like crazy how all this is flattened now. And I believe a lot of this was like the officers' quarters and buildings like that. Look at that, the old corridor leading down into the historical wonder. The last remains of the World War Two history, the light fittings and the electrical boxes. It's actually got like pans and pots and loads of stuff in there, but the building's too kaput. I'll end up lying in a heap of rubble like this if I try and go in. So there we go, folks. I'm going to head on round because I'm hoping I can get down. I'm hoping I can get down this road for a look. See, there's cement bases and stuff in the ground all over, and each of these little buildings would have been related to the World War Two time frame. Oh, there's cows in this field. Look, there's a new sign here. I don't know if that's meaning in the field there though. Yeah, I can actually see there's actually crops in that field down there, folks. See, I'm wanting to go along the edge of that field, but I'm not wanting to damage any crops or anything like that. Sometimes these adventures, you just have to take your opportunity and record the things that's there to see. I'm not wanting to obviously damage any crops and upset farmers, because that's not what we're about on this channel, folks. We like coming and recording some old history and seeing what's left. When you see how a building like that's changed, it's like a madness to me. It was cool that I was able to document it last year before it did fully fall down. Crazy. I'll go and take a look in this window. See if there's anything in this little room here. Wow. Look at this, folks. Real abandoned history of Scotland. Once again, it's always crazy to me, like, how much abandoned history is just all around. In this adventure, I had to keep wiping the lens because I can see now there's a spider web on it as well as raindrops. Yeah, that's crazy. Maybe some of these doors and stuff are original from the war, but then also this could have been used over the years. Like the farmer may have had the like storage and stuff, because it's a lot of years since 1948 when this place shut down. Look at this, the crab apple tree here. Yeah, it's been interesting though to walk around this site again. It is incredible. I think last year I went in here and this house was like full of bales. This is an abandoned house at the corner of this. Wow. This is insane, folks. Old houses like this will be full of like asbestos and stuff like that. Wow. Look at this, it's a spider sanctuary, folks. Oh yeah, I remember going in here. We could just go in here a quick look again, folks, just for the sake of the adventure. Wow. Look at that, it's got one of those fans on the roof at the light. Yeah, it's got a real pungent, damp smell, folks. I'm sure in here, this is where I found, there's an old like WW2 video from back in the day. Check this out, folks. We're in the kitchen. I have been to this house before for a look, but it's just spontaneous often these adventures. I was going to go down and have a look at that little pillbox at the corner of the field, but sometimes if that's inaccessible, you end up in a small corner of Scotland like this. It's like crazy abandoned house. There's not a lot of the original like furniture and stuff where it would have been, but yeah, it's still an abandoned house nonetheless. So look at that for an abandoned scene right there, folks. Once again, we're in the heart of abandoned Scotland. Wow, look at that. Oh, it's gotten so much more degraded in the last couple of years. The roof fans letting the water right in. Wow, it's pretty minging. It is pretty minging, folks. Oh, there was an old vintage TV there the last time. Wow. It is crazy going into an abandoned place, folks. It really is. You never know what you're going to find. Yeah, and once again, we've done it. It was just a quick walk around this place, really, but it's fun getting often on daily videos. It's just a bit of an adventure. It's like, most of my viewers probably haven't even seen this nowadays, and it's like such a long time since I've been here. Look, there's a rabbit's foot at the door. This must have been their little porch at the front. Wow, what an adventure it's been once again. Crazy scenes out here today. Scenes of abandoned Scotland. And this must have been where the original big gate was mounted on. This big cement post. And I'm not sure if there was like a little guard's house or something here. There's almost a spooky, eerie vibe to these abandoned properties. It is crazy. Look at that, somebody's had a kennel or something there at one time. Maybe the farmer. And it looks like this tyre here's had plants in it. Maybe when this house was in its prime, they had these buildings here as their little shed. Yeah, this is the other end of those wooden buildings which has fallen down. But because of the clutter in there, there's no point in trying to go in. And it's just an absolute mess in there. But this is obviously the other end of that big corridor that we've viewed for the other end. Yeah, within this heap of rubble here, there'll just be tons of wartime history. It's just insane to see history degrading like that and decaying over the years. It's a shame. And there's probably museum worthy items within all that. Yeah, folks. Anyway, it's been a short video. It's been a little World War Two nugget. We've seen some new little corners of this place, and we've seen some development of the decay, and it's insane to see that corner there down. Nature taking back over. Yeah, I can actually see there's some piles of cement in this field here. I'll go and take a quick look at this. So we can see here, folks, at the edge of this field, more big cement bases where there would have been buildings, and there's some last remains of the bricks. And there might have been other military pillboxes as well around here defending the site, but the big one at the corner over there is the only one I've found that's actually left here. But wow, I've never actually, it is interesting because I've never noticed this set up here, so that's been cool to notice. And there was so many buildings like related to these airfields. There's probably only like 20% of them even left here now. Another thing there would have been is a row of hangars along the edge of the runway, even at the far side. And also there was like anti-aircraft machine gun bunkers and stuff. Yeah, interesting World War II site, folks. I believe this was a World War II building which was repurposed for the, like, I'm sure they would have done pigs and stuff like that with like livestock in a site like this. Look at this, folks. Will we head right through this? Let's do it. This is what these adventures are all about. Wow, this is what I love about these adventures, folks. Exploring places and things that I've never been. Wow, each of these rooms, they're just pitch dark, so I'll switch on my torch just to get a better idea of what we're actually witnessing here on the video. See if there's any World War II history. Yeah, I believe it's been like pigs or something in here, so probably all the World War II history is actually gone nowadays, folks. The thing is, with farming and farm sheds, often it can look very similar, like to wartime sheds. Look at this, there's a rail up here, and that must have been used for transporting something down on like rollers, which is interesting. If anybody knows history about things like that, like is that related to the pig feeding or anything like that, who would know? Yeah, the whole interior's been changed for identical little chambers right there, where they would have been like feeding the pigs and stuff like that. This is definitely the longest World War Two corridor that I've ever been in my life. Look, that's what the wee doors would have looked like, little things like that. Wow, look how nature takes over when the light and the rain gets in. Check it out, the wee feed trough. I love the character of that. So look there, folks, that would have been definitely farm related. But check this out at this side, there's actually some like duct, which looks like World War Two ventilation system, potentially. And look, there's remains here of where there would have been a door at one time. Maybe before this building got repurposed. And look, you can see this newer inner wall goes to that height, but look on the older wall on the outside. There's actually the square there from a door with a lintel. That's the kind of history that I love to see. Or it's maybe a window. Because look, the original curtain string's still at the top. Wow, folks, real history right here. And crazy history too. Look, there's a plug socket up there. Kind of what I'm thinking with that. That's the original World War Two roof up there, the white one. And it looks like those plugs have just been bent like up the way when they've put this lower roof in at a later time. So wow, that's a cool little World War Two nugget in the middle of all this. It's cool often uncovering the layers of that architecture, and you can often see what was there before. Look, there's the other side of that duct. So I'm not sure if it was like ventilation systems or something like that. Because I don't think that is pig related, or else they would all have that. Whereas none of the other ones have got that ventilation. Wow, folks, it is a crazy scene once again here this week. Yeah, the history just blows my mind. I'm actually thinking this is World War Two related now. But who would know, folks? Like I say, if anybody sees history and they know about it, get in the comments, because it's cool often in the comment section to share the history and learn more about history and different little things. See, look, there's a change in the wall here. It's like there's been an internal wall or a different part of the building. At one time the roof would have been higher, I believe. Yeah, if anything like has been here from the war, it's just about fully covered up. Wow, look at the architecture here. We've come to a unique spot here in the path. I love that angle there, folks. Just as I switched the camera off to take the photographs there, a little swallow flew around the corner here and just to be honestly crashed into my head. Look, here's remains on the floor. This square bit here, there's been something underneath that. I think there's maybe a drain system under the ground. So look, there's one of the lids. But look at this. This is a cool detail of the history. This must be the original entrance coming in, and then it looks like the building's gone off both ways from here. So this was maybe actually the front door. I can see like light switches and stuff. Yeah, this could have been where the main soldiers or like RAF crewmen and stuff used to come in and out. But then I suppose maybe when this was designed for a piggery, if they were letting the pigs out and in, it's maybe shaped like this so that the pigs would easily be directed out here. If they had the float or whatever backed up to the door, could be something like that as well. So many layers of history, folks. It's cool just to ask the question of history often. It does show you, even if you go back to a place you've been before, there can still be history on display, which was missed the last time. Wow, look, you can see up there, the original walls above the roof height here. Yeah, see, I think this rail could even be, imagine you had like a big thing with the pig feed on it. They might have been rolling it along just as they went down past the doors, throwing in a bucket each time. Wow, yeah, folks, what is inside one of these? Look, it's got like a thing like that there, maybe for piglets. That's maybe so the wee piglets could go in and get their food, but then the big pigs wouldn't get their heat in there. So that's a cool bit of farm history there, folks. I love the way it's like rusted and degraded, and again, it'll probably sit in here now until the building gets demolished. It's just a forgotten wee nugget of history that, but so interesting to see. So potentially I'm thinking the piglets may have been in this little section here, and then the pigs would have been over here. It could have been something along those lines. Yeah, we're just making our way down. This is such a long corridor, folks. It's like insane to explore it. And on a rainy day like today, it's perfect with the roof over my head. There is sections of this roof though look like they're on their last legs. So yeah, buildings like this can be down in a few years. Wow, I'm just making sure there's no little wartime details that we're missing, because the World War Two time frame is some of my favourite, most interesting things. The things they did for the defence of the country. But there's another one of these feeders. This one's in a bit better condition. Still got the grey paint on it. It would have been quite an operation, this, I would say, back in the day. Look, this has got that as well. The reason I think this is World War Two is because it's not actually doing anything here in the modern building. Okay, it's not actually ventilating these chambers. Look, I believe that light switch has been there since before this was all remodelled. Because I don't think they would actually have a plug inside a pig stall. It's the sort of thing, if they were going to have one, they would all be probably the same. Each one would have one. Wow, yeah, we're making our way through this. Just about at the end. I love exploring history, folks, and it blows my mind. There's so much, once you go out, it's such an adventure often when you find something new and you explore it. To the landowner and the shed owner here, I come with the greatest respect. I'm just documenting literally the World War II history here, and then I'm on my way. And often a video like this keeps the history alive for the next generation. Once all this stuff's done and forgotten, people can see what was actually there at one time. I can see the shape of the cement on the floor, there's like lines on it, and that's probably so when they're washing it down, it all runs out into the passage and then down into those drains. So there we go, folks, we're right at the far end now. And there is a wind kind of coming in this door here, so wow, what an adventure that has been. It was cool because I was almost ready to head back to the car now. I just thought, hey, look how long this corridor is. It's been such an adventure to come down here. There wasn't any like incredible World War II history in there, but it was still worth seeing what was there. And I'm sure it is originally World War II construction. The way the cement renders on top of the bricks, it's the very same as what we've seen on all these other buildings at the site. But for sure, it's been repurposed and refitted out, and that would have been at the time when it was pigs. Yeah, I see these vents on the wall, and I'm just wondering if that's some sort of ventilation. The air would have potentially gone in those vents, gone down the pipes, and then come out in the corridor down the middle. So that those air vents that we saw are likely to be from the time that was a pig shed rather than World War II air vents. But it is an interesting way. That's cool how you can often piece together bits of the history like that just by looking at the structure. This whole area here has been buildings and stuff in the war. That's the road that comes straight in past that house. It looks like at this point it splits off in two directions. But there's an old like substation generator shed up there in the long grass. But this time of year, folks, it's just too crazy trying to climb through that. The bushes is higher than heat height. So we'll save that for a few months when it's like everything starts to die back again. It's easier to explore. But yeah, that's been a fun little short video. It was cool to go inside those buildings and shelter from the rain. Yeah, it's something a bit different looking inside here. It's interesting even seeing some of the history that's buried in that pile, with like the old urinal. That must have been on a site here. There must have been toilet blocks the whole way up here. The amount of buildings that's gone. It's such a shame that we couldn't have explored this place like 30 or 40 years ago. Anyway folks, it's been a cool video. It's been a shorty, but I'll end it here. Thanks very much for watching. Tune in again soon for the next adventure. I don't even know where I'm going, but it'll be cool.